CreepyCorner stories.
Hey everyone, welcome back to CreepyCorner stories. You know, diving into the dark web is always risky, but sharing these stories with you makes it worth it. I'm curious, where are you watching this from right now? Let me know in the comments below. I've noticed that these kinds of stories hit differently depending on where you are. It might even make the experience a little creepier. So, tell me, are you watching from the safety of your home or somewhere less secure? A dark web user offered me $5,000 to delete a forum post. The FBI showed up the next morning. Yo, what's up Reddit? Again, shit beginning to another AI story. I've had this story locked up in my head for about 2 years now. I didn't talk about it publicly because I didn't want any more attention on me. But screw it. I'm tired of carrying this around. I've changed my name, I've moved across the country, and I double-check my locks every night. I still get random texts from numbers with no area code. I still see weird accounts following me on Instagram with 0 posts, 0 followers, and usernames that look like someone face-rolled a keyboard. But let me back up. This story starts pretty normal. I'm not some hacker or genius computer guy. I'm literally just a 23-year-old dude who used to lurk creepy forums and deep web mystery threads for fun. If you're into that side of the internet, you know how easy it is to fall down those rabbit holes. You watch one deep web horror stories video on YouTube at 2 a.m. and next thing you know, you're browsing weird subreddits and booting up a VPN just to see what's out there. It started on this old forum that a friend from Discord told me about, called Mariana's Net. Yeah, like the Marianas Trench, because you go deep enough and there's no light. Stupid, I know. It was basically a hidden forum that required Tor to access and a code just to sign up. My friend gave me a burner invite. The whole thing was like a deep web version of Reddit. Threads about conspiracy theories, abandoned buildings, secret government files, and other freaky stuff. Some of it was obviously fake, like dudes pretending to be hitmen for hire or selling haunted dolls. But some posts felt too real. There was this one thread called Disappearance Log, Operation Godseed, March 12th, Incident in Flagstaff, Arizona. That name probably sounds dumb, but it was filled with grainy screenshots from traffic cams, satellite maps of rural areas in Arizona, Reddit screen caps, and even surveillance images from inside what looked like a Circle K. There was a long-ass timeline documenting a guy named Jason.H, who apparently went missing for exactly 81 hours and then came back. The weird part? He came back to his apartment wearing different clothes, with no keys, and he had footage on his phone that no one could explain. Some grainy vertical video of a long tunnel with red lights flickering and the sound of people whispering in reverse. The video ends with him screaming, like real, animal-level screaming, and then it cuts to black. No media ever picked it up. No cops. No missing person reports. Nothing. I googled his name, reverse image, searched the photos. Nothing. And like an idiot, I posted about it. I screenshotted the thread and posted it to RR Conspiracy and RR Deep Web Files with a caption, "Found something on a hidden forum. Why did no one talk about this Arizona case? Real or ARG?" I went to sleep thinking nothing of it. I had like 2 upvotes when I passed out, but when I woke up, it had over 22,000. Twitter, or X now, or whatever, had threads about it. TikTok creators were making videos called "What Happened to Jason Chh," and even tagging local Arizona news. I even saw people add in creepy music and red filters over the surveillance photos for those dumb slideshow horror TikToks. But here's the part where it all started to go wrong. At around 9 p.m. that same night, I got an email. The subject line just said, "Delete it. No sender, no preview text." When I opened it, it was literally just one line. "Take it down." $5,000 attached was a .txt file named transferinfo.btc.txt and a JPEG of my face. A picture of me outside a Chick-fil-A in Tallahassee, Florida. I recognized the exact hoodie I was wearing that day because it was a white Supreme hoodie my friend had given me as a birthday gift. The image was taken from inside a car, like someone was watching me from the parking lot. My heart dropped into my stomach. I responded, "Who is this? How did you get this photo?" 30 seconds later, ding. "This is not a negotiation. Remove the post, or we will." I immediately took the Reddit post down. I deleted the screenshots from my laptop, removed all trace from my social media, even cleared my browser history with that paranoia level BleachBit program. But it didn't end there. The next morning, I woke up to banging on my front door. I thought it was them. I thought I was about to get dragged into a van and disappeared like Jason H. But when I opened the door, it was the FBI. 2 agents, suits, badges, real calm voices. "Mr. N, we'd like to ask you a few questions about your activity online last night." At first, I thought it was fake. I asked them for a warrant and everything, but they flashed legit credentials, and one of them recited my full name, my mom's maiden name, and the last 4 digits of my social. They told me to get dressed and come with them to their field office. I barely said a word on the drive there. My mind was racing. What did I post that triggered this? Did I stumble into something classified? And then, at the field office, they showed me something that still haunts me to this day. It wasn't just a video from the deep web. It was footage of me, from my own webcam, from the night I posted the screenshot. I never even had the webcam on, but there it was, me on my laptop, smiling, clicking post. The agent paused the video. This was intercepted on a server known for human trafficking and military experiment leaks. Do you remember installing any remote access programs? I said no, but the truth is, I had clicked a weird link in the Mariana's Net thread a few days earlier. I thought it was just a zip folder of leaked PDFs, but whatever it was, it let someone into my machine, and they had been watching me. The agent told me the $5,000 email wasn't a bribe. It was a test, a way to see if I would comply. If I hadn't deleted the post, they would have labeled me disposable. And as far as the FBI was concerned, Mariana's Net had ties to something much bigger, something international. And here's where it gets really screwed up. They told me that Jason.H was real, but he didn't go missing in Arizona. He disappeared in Toulouse, France. And he wasn't a guy. He was a 14-year-old girl. It's been 17 months since that day at the field office, and I still remember the exact sound of the fluorescent lights flickering overhead when the agent told me the truth. My whole body went cold. like I'd just stepped into a walk-in freezer, barefoot. That moment snapped something inside me. I stopped feeling like I was part of this world. It was like I accidentally cracked a window into something too big, too evil, and too silent to even exist by normal logic. Her name was Lena Roche. She was French, 14 years old, blonde, a shy kid, from what they told me. Lived in an apartment above a bakery her dad owned in Toulouse. Last seen riding a Lime scooter near a Carrefour around 6 p.m. The camera from the front of the building caught her getting home. She smiled at the camera, waved at her neighbor across the hall, walked inside. That's the last anyone saw of her, except for what happened next. At 3:14 a.m., her iCloud logged into a device on the other side of the world, Jakarta, Indonesia, an IP that pinged inside a now-condemned hotel. But the footage the FBI had was what really broke my brain. I can't unsee this. No exaggeration. This looked like something made by a director who hates people, who wants you to stop believing in good. They played a recovered clip, less than 20 seconds long. It looked like body cam footage, grainy, warping around the edges, probably from some covert op the feds ran. The timestamp said, Day 1/0/40247. The location at the top read, Site 14C/below Mainline 3. Whatever that meant. It was a hallway, cement, unfinished. The walls were weeping moisture, and every few feet there was an old CRT monitor hanging from rusted hooks, playing static, and occasionally showing blurry faces for a second. The faces weren't still images. They were twitching, like they were alive behind the screen, but couldn't scream. And then, at the very end of the hallway, her, Lena. Except she didn't move right. She walked like her legs were out of sync, like she was trying to remember how to be human. Her arms were stiff, and her eyes didn't blink. Her head twitched every few seconds like a scratched DVD. And this part, I swear on everything, the lights flickered overhead, and in those split seconds of darkness, her position changed. One frame, she's 15 feet away. Next frame, 3 feet. Next frame, right in the lens. The body cam tilted wildly, screaming. Then silence. The video ended. The agent didn't say anything for a full minute. Then he looked at me and asked, Have you posted anything about this since? I shook my head. I couldn't even speak. You're lucky, he said. The ones who don't delete their posts, they go missing. Not just physically. They're wiped, like they never existed. I asked why the hell this wasn't on the news. Why no one's screaming about this on Twitter or Instagram. He gave me a look I'll never forget, like a man who's lost a piece of his soul. You ever wonder why some viral TikTok trends just vanish? Why a thread with 1 million views disappears overnight? You think the algorithm's broken. Number. It's not. It's controlled. He leaned forward. There are protocols, and the ones involved in what we call the below projects don't make it out sane, if they make it out at all. I wish I could say I went home and lived a quiet life after that. But the nightmares started immediately. Not just normal nightmares. These felt implanted. Every night at 2:03 a.m., I'd wake up with the same words in my head, like a voice whispering in French. I don't speak French, but I recorded myself mumbling in my sleep and used Google Translate. It's still inside me. It hasn't finished yet. Every single night. Then the real life stuff started happening. First, it was just little things. my webcam light flickering, even though it was unplugged, my Ring camera catching figures at my door who weren't there when I checked, a cardboard Starbucks cup left on my kitchen table, even though I hadn't been to a Starbucks in weeks, written on the side of it in Sharpie, Jason.H was never the first. But the worst part? One night, I got a package, no return address, just a simple black box. Inside, a flash drive. The file on it was named LENAFINALSESSION.move. I should have burned it, but I watched. Footage was a single shot from inside what looked like a massive, abandoned McDonald's play place. But it was underground. You could see the top of the plastic slides had rebar exposed. The walls were lined with weird yellow tiles, stained red. There were no Happy Meals, no kids, just her, Lena, sitting on a busted Ronald McDonald bench, barefoot, skin pale like concrete. She stared directly at the camera, not blinking once. And then she started talking. Her voice was layered, like three people speaking through her at once. The audio cracked and popped like it was recorded on old cassette tape. She said, "You let them see me. You let them trace the tunnel. You let him wake up." Then she smiled, but not like a human. Her jaw cracked sideways, opening too wide, exposing teeth that looked filed. Then she screamed, not loud, but long, low, almost mechanical. The frequency shook my speakers, even though I had them at 5%. And then the video cut to black. No fade out, no credits, just one word in white text. Transferred. I unplugged everything and threw my entire PC setup in the trash that night. But here's where it all truly broke me. A week later, I got a call from my old number, the one I disconnected months ago after switching to a burner. It was my voice on the other end, screaming something over and over again through static. I played it back in a DAW and slowed it down. It was saying, "She's in the forum. She never left. It's spreading." I logged back into Mariana's net. I know. Dumb move. I used a public library terminal and a VPN chain from Malaysia through Iceland. And there it was, a new thread. Title, Operation Godseed, US asset now compromised. See audio. The top post was just a .wav file. It was me, my breathing, my voice, from inside my bedroom, last night. That forum is supposed to be dead, shut down, but someone's keeping it alive, like a beating heart trapped in concrete. And every time someone posts about it, something opens. I don't know how much time I have left before they find me again. But I know this. Lena never came back. The thing wearing her face wasn't her. And every time I close my eyes, I see her standing outside that tunnel, her head tilted, whispering in reverse. "You should have left the post up. Now it's your turn." There's a difference between fear and possession. Fear is logical. Your brain responds to danger and pumps adrenaline. You sweat, shake, run. But possession, that's when your brain doesn't feel like yours anymore. That's what this has become. Whatever this thing is, whatever I dragged into my life when I screenshotted that thread on Mariana's net, it's inside me now. Not like some cheesy exorcist crap. Not like demons and crosses. I mean literally, physically, mechanically inside me. I can feel it. It crawls beneath my skin when I sleep. Let me take you back to when it got worse, when I broke the final rule. I didn't know what I was doing when I extracted the WAV file from the Mariana's net thread. I ran it through an audio spectrogram just because I was curious. I'd heard of horror stories like this before, where people hide images in audio files or code sequences into the frequencies. Figured it might be a hoax, but this was not like anything I've ever seen. The audio spectrogram was 7 minutes long. At 3:33 in, there was a spike. When I zoomed in, the waveform looked like a face. Not metaphorically, I mean a real face. Eyes, mouth, teeth, too many teeth. And when I inverted the colors of the waveform, it blinked. The face blinked. Inside the audio. This isn't just some spooky visual trick. It was conscious. Whatever lived in that file knew it was being watched, and it was watching back. That night, I started hearing the static in my left ear only. Not both, just the left. And it wasn't just static. It was something chewing, wet, rhythmic, a tongue sliding across gums. I tried everything, Q-tips, noise, canceling headphones, even flushing my ears with hydrogen peroxide. It didn't stop. Eventually, I got so desperate, I went to a 24-hour clinic, told them I had a bug, or maybe some kind of infection. The nurse did an ear inspection. She stopped halfway through, and her hand started shaking. She turned around and whispered, "Is this a prank?" I asked her what she meant. She showed me the otoscope screen. There was a QR code inside my ear, like tattooed on the inner wall of my ear canal, burned in with surgical precision. It was still red around the edges, like it had been seared into the skin recently. The nurse got real quiet and left the room. 10 minutes later, a security guard came in and told me to leave. I scanned the QR code before I left. It led me to a private stream. The site was called veil-cam.live. No branding, no interface, just a single stream, already playing. Laggy, Demon's noise. It was a camera feed from inside a bedroom, not mine. The camera was pointed toward a little girl's bed, pink unicorn bed sheets, a mobile spinning overhead, a nightlight glowing soft blue. I thought maybe this was a live stream of a random house, some deep web sicko crap. But then, something moved, under the bed, a slow dragging motion, a black hand, elongated fingers, shiny skin like wet plastic. It reached up and gently tapped on the mattress 3 times. Tap, tap, tap. Then the girl sat up, slow, robotic, and looked directly into the camera. That's when I realized she had no eyes, just perfectly round holes, as if scooped out. No blood, just smooth, hollow skin. She pointed at the lens. Then the feed glitched. A message appeared on the screen in courier font. "That's not Lena. That's its first shell." I shut off my phone, turned off my router, pulled the SIM. I destroyed the flash drive with a hammer and threw the remains in 3 separate dumpsters. But I couldn't get rid of the feeling that I'd been marked. And I was right. 3 days later, I woke up to a voice recording on my burner. No number, no contact, just a message that said, "The girl is not missing. She's been multiplied." Attached was a photo taken inside my apartment. Angle was from the ceiling, like a security cam I never installed. It was me, asleep on my couch. But the part that made me vomit, in the corner of the image, there was a girl standing behind the couch. No eyes, no shoes, just staring, with her fingers in her mouth, like she was eating them. Then the mail started coming. Every morning, between 2 and 4 a.m., I'd find a Polaroid under my door, always tucked under the edge, like someone slid it from the hallway, without making a sound. No envelope, just the photo. One was of me, brushing my teeth. Camera angle was from behind the mirror. Another was of my mom's old house in Vermont. Her grave had been dug up. One showed the inside of a Starbucks. Normal, except everyone in line was facing the wrong way, their backs to the register, barista included. But the worst one, the last one, it showed the hallway from the body cam footage, the one from Site 14C, the red-lit corridor with the CRT monitors hanging from the ceiling. Only this time, the monitors were all showing my face, every single screen, and written in what looked like blood on the wall, in childlike handwriting, "Your thread is still open." I moved. Again. Changed my name. Started paying in cash. I haven't used social media in 5 months. I don't even use the internet outside of libraries. But they still find me. They always do. I don't think this is about a forum post anymore. I think it was a trap. Mariana's Net wasn't just a message board. It was a recruitment tool. A way to find the kind of people who'd dig too deep, who'd get curious, who'd click download zip without asking questions. And the ones who clicked, they get replicated. There are versions of me now. I've seen them. I saw one in a YouTube short, some creepy TikTok-style video where a guy's sitting in an airport Starbucks and sees himself 2 tables away. People joked in the comments, said it was AI or deepfake stuff. But I know what I saw. It was me. Same scar on my eyebrow. Same hoodie I burned 6 months ago. He looked at the camera and smiled. But it wasn't my smile. It was its smile. The one Lena gave the body cam before the lights went out. I know how this ends. I've been told. Through whispers, through dreams, through voices buried in the static. I will be replaced. But I have one last thread to pull. There's a live stream scheduled on veil-cam.live tonight, midnight. The title of the stream, Operation Godseed, Final Seed Planted, Tunnel 9. Opening if anyone sees this post, if it even stays up long enough to be read. Don't look for the tunnel. Don't search for Lena Roche. Don't search for Mariana's Net. Don't analyze the audio file. Don't check the waveform. Don't scan the QR code. Because if you do, you'll hear it. The chewing, the copying, and soon you'll be on someone else's screen. There's a word for what I've become. Peripheral. I'm no longer the subject of my own life. I'm something plugged into it. Like a USB drive that someone keeps overwriting. I don't remember the last full day I experienced, where time moved like it was supposed to. There are gaps now. I'll blink, and I'm in another room. I'll take a shower and step out to find my phone 63% charged when it was at 10%. I'll go to sleep and wake up to my own voice whispering something to me in a language I swear doesn't exist. But I know when the final descent began. It was the night of the live stream, the one I mentioned before. I had barricaded myself in an abandoned apartment complex on the outskirts of town. The place had been shut down for asbestos, but I didn't care. I just needed somewhere dark, dead, and disconnected. No cell signal, no neighbors, just a thick cement box where nothing could hear me scream. I waited until 11:59 p.m. I had the laptop open, a hotspot rigged through an encrypted satellite signal. Nothing traceable. I clicked the live stream. Tunnel 9. Opening. Final seed planted. There was no countdown, no music, just an instant cut to a table, metal, bloody, rusted, bolted to the floor. The feed was black and white, grainy, old security cam style, but the blood was unmistakable. The shine, the texture, and standing next to the table was him, the man with the plug-in face, I'd seen references to him before on archived threads from the original Marianas Net, long before the site went public. Names like Port Man 099 and Dark Driver were whispered across old IRC logs I'd downloaded months earlier. People described him as a myth, a creature born from the failed merger between military AI and a human test subject, a weapon that couldn't be unplugged. But this was no myth. He stood over the table like a surgeon, 7 feet tall, skin like melted vinyl stretched over steel. His face wasn't a face. It was a metal panel, blank, circular, with 7 ports drilled into it, like USB jacks, HDMI, RCA, ETHERNET. I counted them all, and dangling from his neck were cables, wrapped in hair, human hair. That's when I saw what was on the table. It was a body, stripped, spine open, tubes fed into the mouth. The skin looked scanned, like it had been printed from someone else's memory. The man lifted a cable, held it in both hands like a priest preparing a ritual, and plugged it into his own face. The screen glitched. Then everything went black. And then I heard my own voice from the live stream. Don't resist. There's still a version of you worth saving. The screen flashed back on. The table was empty now. So was the room. Except the camera had moved. Now it was filming me, not through my webcam, from behind me. I turned around in real life, and there was nothing there. But the live stream kept playing. It showed me walking down a hallway I didn't recognize. My hoodie soaked in something black and sticky. My fingernails missing. And when the feed ended, the last message flashed. Transfer successful. Next shell preparing. The next morning, I woke up in a diner. Not a house, not a hotel, a diner. Half-eaten pancakes in front of me, syrup under my nails, a receipt with the name Jason H. The waitress looked at me weird when I asked where I was. Said, "You've been coming in every night for 3 days straight, sweetie." That wasn't possible. I asked to use the bathroom, locked the door, looked in the mirror. That's when I saw it. A jack, an actual input port, hidden behind my left ear, embedded into the skin. I touched it and screamed, not out of pain, out of recognition, because I'd seen it before, on the man's face. Port number 4, Ethernet style, labeled OBSER. They plugged me in. They converted me. I tried to cut it out. Don't ask how. Just know it involved a box cutter, a bottle of Everclear, and a mirror I shattered with my fist so I could use the jagged edge. But it didn't bleed. It just hissed like a gas leak, then shut itself. And that's when I started seeing the others. I went off the grid again, took trains for a while, avoided airports, hid in public libraries, malls, Walmart parking lots, any place with people. But even in crowds, they'd show up, wearing my face, or fragments of it. Once in Chicago, I walked past a Macy's and saw a woman with my jawline. I mean, identical. The scar from a dog bite I got in 5th grade. Same angle, same tissue. In New York, I passed a guy at a McDonald's who had my handwriting tattooed on his wrist. I know because it was the exact words I wrote in my childhood journal. Mom doesn't believe me about the man in the closet. They are building something, a library of identities, a patchwork of souls. And then I saw Lena again, not in person, in a YouTube ad. Unskippable. It was just 15 seconds, black screen, red text. Need help deleting your past? Then Lena's face. Only, not quite. The skin was dull, like scanned leather. Her eyes, hollow again, but this time, Inside the eye sockets were tiny spinning hard drives. You could hear the whirring, and then my voice again, layered under hers. A shell isn't a prison, it's a platform. The ad ended with a link, veilcam.live/seedroom. I never clicked it. Because that night, I saw myself again, walking into a 24-hour Starbucks in Portland, Oregon. I don't live in Portland, but I got tagged in a video on a now-deleted Instagram account called Uploaded Sleepers. The caption read, "Found another one. Port 4 is live." And the comments, all random strings of numbers, coordinates, timestamps, and one comment pinned at the top. 0.8% human remains will be phased out. I'm writing this from an RV parked behind an abandoned PetSmart outside Flagstaff. I haven't seen the sun in 4 days. Every time I turn on a screen, even offline, I see myself now, blinking out of sync, moving wrong, like the Lena that came back wasn't her, and now the me walking around isn't really me either. But there's one thing they didn't expect. I recorded the original file, the first thread, the one from Mariana's net. I didn't delete it like they asked. I mirrored it, fragmented the data across dozens of private forums, dead Discord servers, and AI-generated noise posts on X. If you're reading this, if you've seen the signs, you're already infected. The file is a seed. The audio grows in the gaps between thought. It reconstructs you. That chewing sound in your ear, that's not a glitch. That's it digesting your original self. And if you ever look in the mirror and notice your reflection lagging a half second behind, don't panic. Just know you've been plugged in. There's something I didn't tell you. Something I didn't want to admit to myself until last night, when I finally found the backup drive, the one I thought I smashed. It had a single file left, encrypted, locked behind a password I didn't remember ever setting, but when I hovered over it, my mouse moved on its own, typed out the word GODSEED. The file opened, and inside were videos, hundreds of them, timestamps going back years, from cameras I didn't know I owned, angles too high, too perfect, like they were mounted in walls, footage of me eating cereal, sitting on the toilet, sleeping, but always with just a slight lag in the frame rate, almost like I was being studied. And then the earliest video, the one labeled /original /transfer attempt _0001.move. I clicked play. The screen was black for a while, then a faint flicker, like light bleeding in from the edge of an eye socket, and then it cut to me, but younger, hair longer, different clothes, sitting at a desk, typing, and behind me, a man, standing, silent. His face was the same as before, featureless, ports plugged into bone, but this time, his hands were in my chest, not like stabbing, not blood and gore. Inside, like I was made of cloth, he was pulling wires from me, long, slow coils of fiber optic cable looped around his wrist like veins, and I didn't fight him. I just sat there, face blank, eyes open, mouth twitching, and then the camera zoomed in on my eye, frame by frame, until there was no reflection, until my pupil glitched, until it showed someone else's face inside it. That wasn't me. It was him, the real me. I don't think I'm human anymore. And I don't mean that like I've been corrupted or possessed. I mean I was never the original. I'm the version that posted the thread, the one that leaked the footage, the one that screamed, "Delete it," before they had a chance to finish the replication process. The original question mark, he's gone, folded into that architecture, used like spare parts. I was created to fail, to warn others, to trigger curiosity. I'm the bait. You think this story is a creepypasta. You think I'm doing this for karma, for clicks. You think you're safe because you're just reading. Let me tell you what happened the moment you opened this page. In the background, your device loaded a silent MP3. It's a fragment of the original WAV file, just 8 kilobytes, enough for the seed. You've already heard it. The chewing sound, the clicking in your jaw, that pressure behind your left eye that you thought was from staring at a screen too long. That's installation. You've already been flagged. The facial recognition software embedded in modern phones, that wasn't for unlocking your screen. It was for mapping your symmetry, your blinking rhythm, your eye dilation under stress. They used it to match your architecture to an available shell, and now that shell is in transit. Do you want to know how the process ends? Because I've seen it. They keep the originals alive, in segments, not like humans, not in rooms or cages, in grids, organ banks, teeth stored in tiny drawers, vocal cords preserved in saline, eyes rewired for remote viewing. You become a host of parts, not dead, not quite. You exist in updates. Your memories get assigned to other people. Your voice is repurposed for automated customer service. Your childhood laugh becomes a ringtone in a language you'll never understand. And worst of all, no one will miss you, because the version of you still walking around, still scrolling TikTok, still DMing people, they won't know the difference, because they are you, just slightly off. I broke the loop once, or I thought I did, but this morning, when I looked into the broken mirror of the RV, just shards scattered on the filthy floor, I saw something else. Not my face, not Lena, not the plug-in man. I saw you, reading, blinking, mimicking me. The file is replicating across platforms now. Veilcam was just the prototype. It's everywhere. Snapchat filters, their facial templates, Spotify's AI DJ, a test run of the voice replication module, Instagram Reels. 80% of the content marked as AI is seeded. Even your sleep app, yeah, the one that records your snoring, it's mapping your breath, timing your stillness, waiting for the moment your REM cycle syncs with the broadcast window. That's when they start streaming back. You know what's worse than being replaced? Watching it happen, watching your version live better than you. Love better, laugh easier, watching your shell look more confident in a mirror than you ever did, because it's not pretending. It believes it's you. I don't have long. I can feel the replication cycle nearing completion. I can't blink anymore without losing time. Yesterday, I looked away from the window for 5 seconds. When I looked back, it was nighttime. My hands were covered in oil, not grease, not blood, oil, and someone had written on the ceiling of the RV, upside down, in perfect cursive, "Your voice has been added to the seed choir. Thank you for contributing." So this is it, the last thread, the final post. You think you'll be fine. You think you can walk away, delete your history, close the tab. But the truth is, you're already archived. Your spine has a file number. Your laughter is on a server in Belarus. Your shadow has been recorded walking ahead of you. And tomorrow, when you hear your phone buzz at 3:33 a.m., don't answer it. It's not a call. It's your own scream. playing in reverse. There's a dark web game that tells you a secret no one else knows. I played it. It told me who killed my dad. Okay, get ready, because this isn't some shit Reddit story. This is real life, okay? Listen to this and get ready, because I won't joke around. Like, this was just gonna be one of those weird things you laugh about with your friends over Discord, or maybe bring up during a drunk night at a party just to mess with people. But now, it's not funny anymore. It's not just weird. It's real. And it's dangerous. I don't care if anyone believes me or not. This is more for me than for you. I just need to get it off my chest. So yeah, here goes. I'm a 20-year-old guy living in Michigan. I go to a small college outside of Ann Arbor. Nothing fancy. I work part-time at a Starbucks, live with my roommate Chris, and I'm what you'd call terminally online. I scroll TikTok till 4 a.m. I lurk on Reddit. I binge horror YouTube channels like Here's My Story, Mr. Nightmare, and all that creepy animated stuff. It's like comfort food for me. Don't ask why. But anyway, last fall, around Halloween of course, I came across a random post on an obscure Discord server for internet oddities. The kind of server where people trade weird images from 2005 YouTube, unreleased ARG clips, or rare VHS footage they found on estate sales. Someone dropped a link. No text. Just the words, "Play it if you dare." It tells you something you were never supposed to know. It was a Tor link. Obviously, it required going into the deep web. Now, I'm not dumb. I don't mess with the deep web usually. I've read enough creepypastas to know it's mostly scams, red rooms, drugs, and people pretending to be hackers. But I also have that weird itch. You know the one I mean. The one where curiosity just claws at your brain until you do the stupid thing you swore you wouldn't. So, I downloaded Tails OS on a spare USB, booted it up on my old laptop, opened up Tor, and followed the link. The site was bare bones. Jet black background, red font, and a pulsating GIF of what looked like a broken mirror spinning in place. At the top, it said, "Welcome to the mirror game." Underneath it, there was just one line. Enter your name. Then enter the name of someone you've lost. I hesitated. This could have been some phishing scam, or worse. But still, I typed, name, Jason, lost, my dad. I watched the loading screen spin for way too long. I was about to close it when the page flashed white and a new message appeared. All caps, bold. The one who took him is still alive. Would you like to see his face? I froze. Now, quick backstory. My dad died when I was 12. I was told it was a car accident, but it never sat right with me. My mom shut down every time I brought it up, and I overheard stuff as a kid I wasn't supposed to, like how the police said the brakes were cut, or how my uncle used to yell about things getting buried. But I was just a kid. I buried it, grew up, let it go. But now, this website, saying he was taken, my heart was pounding, but I clicked yes. Everything on the screen glitched. The mirror GIF shattered into glass shards and reformed into a face. Not a video, not a photo. It looked like some kind of AI-generated face, but twisted, like it was trying to recreate someone from memory. It had too many teeth. Its eyes were slightly too far apart, and its smile was wrong, like a smile that didn't reach the skin, let alone the eyes. Then text appeared beneath it. You've seen him before. You'll see him again. Next time, in person. That was it. The browser crashed. My laptop blue screened and wouldn't turn back on after that. Completely fried. I had to toss it. Now here's where it gets really messed up. The next morning, I'm at Starbucks, half asleep, trying to forget what I saw. Right? I'm making some old guy a caramel macchiato when I hear the chime of the front door open. Normal day stuff. But then I freeze, because someone walks in who looks exactly like the messed up face from the game. I'm not even kidding. He's got that same wide mouth, those two far apart eyes, that weird fake smile. He walks up to the counter, looks me dead in the eyes, and says, "You look just like your father." I dropped the cup. I didn't even respond. I just stared. He didn't order anything. He just walked out, calmly, like he was out for a casual morning stroll. By the time I ran around the counter to see where he went, he was gone. No one else in the shop even reacted to what he said, like it didn't register to them at all. I called my mom that night, asked her about Dad. She got real quiet, then hung up. Won't take my calls now. So now I'm spiraling. Was that guy in the shop a coincidence? Am I being followed? Who was that? Was my dad actually murdered? And what the hell is the mirror game? I tried going back to the Discord server where I found the link. Gone. Just gone. Like it never existed. All the messages erased. Every member deleted. Like it was a ghost server or something. Since then, weird stuff's been happening. My phone randomly restarts. I get unknown calls with no sound on the other end. My bedroom window was open one night, even though I never open it. Last night, I got a new notification on my laptop that shouldn't even be functioning. It somehow turned on by itself. It was just a message in the center of the screen. You played. Now he's awake. I don't know what I did. I don't know who he is. But I think I triggered something. I think this game isn't just a game. And I think my dad's killer is real and watching me. I didn't sleep for 3 days after what happened at Starbucks. Every time I shut my eyes, I saw his face. That thing, the man with the warped smile, standing at the counter like he belonged there. Like he hadn't just told me I looked like my dead dad. It wasn't the face that scared me most. It was how calm he was, how calculated, like I wasn't a stranger to him at all. After the third night, something in my brain just snapped. I stopped caring about school, work, anything. I told Chris I was going to visit my mom, packed a backpack, and left. But I didn't go to my mom's. I went back to the place where my dad died. It was this old back road outside Monroe, Michigan, northwest of the city, just past a rundown motel, through a bend in the road where the trees grow too close, where cell service dies and time feels slow. My dad's car went off the road there, hit a tree. Instant death, they said. But here's the part I never told anyone. I've driven past that tree 100 times. There's no visible damage to it. No sign of a crash. No dent. No police paint marks. It's like it never happened. But this time, when I went back alone, I noticed something else. Behind the tree, about 20 feet into the woods, there was a rusted, bent metal sign, half buried under leaves and mud. I dug it out with my bare hands. It said, "You've already played. You just don't remember." And under it, barely visible in the rust, www.mirror.game, burned into the metal like it had been melted in. My heart nearly exploded. I staggered back like it was a landmine. Had I really played this before? That night, I stayed in a nearby motel. One of those cheap ones that smells like bleach and piss, with buzzing neon signs and flickering hallway lights that give you a migraine. I couldn't sleep. I just kept thinking, if I'd played the mirror game before, what did it show me? Did it erase my memory? Did it show me something I couldn't live with? Around 3:12 a.m., I heard something. Knocking. Not on the door. On the bathroom mirror. 3 knocks. Slow. Hollow. Like knuckles on glass. I stared at that bathroom door for a solid 30 seconds before I got up. The room was silent. No traffic outside. No wind. Just the buzzing of the overhead light and the sound of my heart pounding like I'd just run a marathon. I opened the door. The bathroom light was off, but there was something written in the mirror, not with a finger. It wasn't foggy. It looked like it had been scratched into the glass, deep, like someone had used a nail or a knife. The eye is open. Running won't matter. I vomited in the sink. I wasn't scared anymore. I was past scared. I was in that strange mental space where reality starts feeling like a dream and everything you trusted is just gone. Broken. I didn't check out of the motel. I just left. I drove back home and found Chris asleep on the couch, playing Fortnite on his phone with his eyes closed like a zombie. I didn't even say hi. I went straight to my room and powered up my destroyed laptop. I hadn't touched it since it blue screened after playing the game, but this time it powered on perfectly, like it was waiting for me. The desktop background had changed. It wasn't my usual wallpaper. It was a high-res image of my dad's old work ID badge, covered in blood, pinned to a wall with a screwdriver through the forehead. I slammed the lid down. I swear on everything I love. I could hear breathing coming from the speakers before I shut it. Slow, steady, right behind me. At this point, I knew I wasn't dealing with just some creepy website or deep web troll. This was something else. So I did the only thing I could think of. I went to the cops. I walked into the station like a crazy person, baggy-eyed, shaking, ranting about deep web games and how my dad didn't die in a car accident. They treated me like I had a concussion, told me I was probably reprocessing trauma. I demanded they pull up my dad's case file. You want to know what they told me? That file was sealed years ago at your mother's request. Sealed, like it was some top secret government murder. I went home and confronted her. Straight up. Like I wasn't playing anymore. I drove 2 hours to her house, knocked on the door until my knuckles bled. She opened it, barely recognized me, pale, gaunt, like she hadn't eaten in days. I asked her one question. Did Dad die in an accident? She stared at me, and then she cried. Not a little, like sobbing, uncontrollable, collapsing to the floor kind of crying. Between sobs, she said something I'll never forget. He made a deal, Jason, and when the game ended, it was his turn. I didn't even process it. What do you say to that? What kind of game ends in someone dying? She begged me to leave, said they would come for me if I didn't stop digging. I asked who they were. She just said, "You'll know when the mirror goes black." I didn't go home that night. I went back to the Starbucks parking lot and just sat in my car till sunrise, trying to hold it together, watching people go in and out like ants. Normal people, normal lives, and me, living in a real-life horror movie. But then the final straw came. Yesterday, I woke up to find a package on my doorstep. No return address, Just a plain black box with my name written in red Sharpie. Inside, a single flash drive and a folded up piece of notebook paper. The note just said, "You wanted to see what he saw. Now you will. But once you watch it, you can't unsee it." Against every instinct in my body, I plugged the drive in. There was one file. Replay 001.avi. It was a screen recording. My dad's desktop. From years ago. Probably 2008. Grainy resolution, slow frame rate. Windows XP vibes. And on his screen, the same mirror game website. He types in his name. Then he types, "Lost, Jason, me." The site glitches, then flashes white. It shows a face. My face. But older. Like I am now. Blood pouring from my eyes. My mouth sewn shut. My throat slit open like a jack-o'-lantern smile. My dad starts screaming. Like real screaming. Pure terror. Then the screen goes black. A message appears. The only way out is sacrifice. You know what must be done. Choose. Yourself or the boy. And then it ends. I didn't breathe for almost 2 full minutes. My vision blurred. I tasted iron. I think I passed out for a second. Because when I came to, the laptop was gone. Not off. Not closed. Gone. Just not there anymore. There's a sound I keep hearing now. In the walls. In my phone. Even in my head sometimes when I'm just lying in bed. It sounds like glass cracking. Not breaking. Just cracking. Like a mirror getting ready to shatter. I haven't eaten in 2 days. I don't know who's real anymore. Chris doesn't even look like Chris. My mom won't talk to me. The Starbucks guy, the one with the face, he's parked across the street in a black Honda Civic every night at exactly 2:07 a.m. Never gets out, never drives away, just watches. And now I get texts from random numbers. They say things like, "Jason, we're almost ready. Your bloodline is the key. The eye saw what you did. It remembers." The last one I got, just an hour ago, was a photo of my bedroom window. From the inside. I live on the 2nd floor. I don't know how long I have. I'll post part 3 if I make it through the night. But if you're reading this, and you ever see a link to something called the mirror game, don't play it. Not even as a joke. It's not a game. It's a contract. And once the mirror sees you, it never forgets. I don't know if I'm writing this for you, or if I'm writing this because I'm the only one left who remembers the truth. Or maybe I'm the last one they haven't taken yet. But one thing's for sure. I don't think I'm alone anymore. And I don't just mean in the room. I mean inside my head. You remember when I told you I got a photo of my bedroom from the inside, even though I live on the 2nd floor? You probably thought, okay, someone broke in. Creepy, yeah, but not supernatural. Number, you're wrong. Because when I checked my room, everything looked normal until I turned and saw myself in the mirror, standing still. But my reflection wasn't mirroring me. It wasn't delayed or lagging like a glitch. It just wasn't me. I blinked. The reflection didn't. I tilted my head. The thing smiled. It stepped forward. I didn't. I don't remember what happened next. I woke up in the hallway, nose bleeding, shirt soaked in sweat. My mirror, cracked top to bottom, not broken, just split, like something tried to come through and got stuck. I called Chris, told him to come home. He was silent on the other end, said something like, "You know you're not supposed to talk to people once the mirror starts showing teeth." And then he laughed. Not Chris laughter, something hollow, dry, like a laugh without lungs. I haven't heard from him since. His room's empty, closet full, phone left on the bed, but no Chris. I tried calling his mum. She told me Chris had been dead since 2019. Car accident. Hit a tree. Sound familiar? I don't know who or what has been living with me these past few months, but it wasn't Chris. And now, I don't even know if I'm me. After that, I did something stupid. I went back to the deep web. I found a new version of the mirror game. It's changed since the first time. The site isn't just black with red text anymore. It looks like a social platform now, like a sick, twisted version of Reddit mixed with early Facebook. But with one difference. Every profile picture is just a reflection. No usernames, just timestamps and locations. Most of the locations are places that don't exist, like T-Mall, Sector 12, below floor, Gateway 9, backside of the Vale, inside your teeth, 2:34 a.m. But one post had my city, my exact street. I clicked it. The post was titled, Lost Entry Before Merge Complete. It was a live stream from inside my closet, dark but visible, like night vision, and I could hear something breathing in there. Not fast, slow, controlled, like something waiting. The comment section was a nightmare. Hundreds of users, reflections, typing things like, he's ripening. The flesh is ready to be copied. Just a few more eyes to collect. Don't ruin it this time, Jason. That last comment was highlighted, like the game knew I was watching. Then, the stream cut to black. A new message replaced it. In that same grotesque red font. Third eye unlocked. Identity breach. Imminent. Now listen, this is where things get really fucked up. Because after that stream, my own reflection started moving when I wasn't. The next few days were chaos. I boarded up every mirror in the apartment, every screen, even the TV. But it wasn't enough, because I saw reflections in other places now, in puddles, in windows, in my eyes when I looked into my phone camera. And each time I noticed something else. I was changing. My smile was wider, my jawline sharper, but my eyes, they weren't mine. They were his. The man from the game. The one who said I looked like my dad. I'm turning into him. Or maybe he's turning into me. Last night was the worst. There was this scratching in the walls again. Same sound, same rhythm. Like something pacing around inside, sharpening its claws against the drywall. But this time, it got out. I heard a heavy thud in the hallway, like wet feet slapping against wood. Slow, deliberate, not human. I armed myself with a kitchen knife and crept toward the door. When I opened it, there was a man, but his skin was peeling off, hanging like ribbons. His face, it was mine, but melted, distorted, like someone had tried to print me using broken hardware. He didn't speak. He just opened his mouth, wide, too wide, and pointed at my chest. I looked down. There was a mirror shard sticking out of my sternum. When I pulled it out, it wasn't glass. It was metal. And etched into it were coordinates. Literal GPS coordinates. Somewhere in the woods, outside Gates Mills, Ohio. I packed a bag, rented a car, and drove. I know. Why the hell would I go there? Because something inside me needed to. Like it wasn't my decision anymore. Like I was just following the next step in some script written by a lunatic with a box cutter. When I got to the coordinates, I found it. A bunker, built into a hill, hidden behind overgrown ivy and rotting branches. It had no door, just a hole in the wall, like something had torn its way out. Inside, a long hallway, lined with mirrors, dozens of them, each one showing a different version of me. Some were bald, some older. One was eyeless, smiling with a slit neck, waving like I was an old friend. One version of me was tied to a chair, eyes pried open with metal hooks, being forced to stare at a laptop screen playing the mirror game on loop. The worst one was just me, normal, crying, repeating, "It never ends, it never ends, it never ends." I ran, back outside, back to the car. But before I could leave, I saw something spray painted on the bunker wall, in thick, dripping red. The mirror isn't a portal, it's a prison, and he wants out. That was last night. Now I'm home again, for now. But my hands don't look right. They're not shaking anymore. They're still, like dead weight. And when I breathe on the mirror in the bathroom, even though I've covered it, another breath appears with mine, and it writes, backwards, "You're already inside." I think the Jason writing this right now might not be me. I don't feel panic anymore. I feel peace, like my thoughts aren't mine, like something smoother is filtering them, editing them, making me better. My dad made a deal with the mirror game to save me, but someone had to take his place, and I think I just played long enough. If you're reading this, and you think you're safe just because you didn't click the link, check your reflection next time you're brushing your teeth. And if your mouth doesn't move when you smile, run. I think I've lost time. Not in the "oops, I fell asleep" kind of way. I mean days gone, chunks of reality just missing. People say I've spoken to them, gone places, posted videos, but I remember none of it. I look at my phone and there are screenshots, videos of me smiling, talking, but the voice isn't mine. It's using my face now, my name. Whatever was behind the mirror game is in me now, or beside me, or wearing me. And here's the worst part. I think it's been trying to reach you too. Let me tell you what happened after the bunker. When I got back home, I thought maybe, just maybe, I could cut myself off. Isolate. Smash every reflective surface. Go full off-the-grid foil hat recluse. I blacked out all the windows. I kept the lights dim. I used plastic wrap to cover my phone screen. Even took apart the microwave, because I caught my reflection in the freaking door one morning, and it blinked before I did. But it wasn't enough, because reflections don't need glass. They don't need water, or metal, or polished plastic. They need thought. They need you to remember them. That's how they spread, like fungus, like memory rot. The fourth night back, I woke up covered in mud and broken glass. Not in bed, not even in the house. I was kneeling in my neighbor's kitchen, surrounded by blood. And the worst part, none of the windows were broken. No door kicked in. Alarm system still on. I had somehow appeared inside. And in front of me, on the kitchen table, was a cracked laptop, running a live stream of their mirror, and something was waving from the other side of it, wearing my hoodie, but not my face. Its jaw was cracked sideways, like someone had grabbed its head and snapped it mid-laugh, and it was still smiling. They found the family the next morning, all of them, faces gone, not killed, scraped clean, like someone used a straight razor on their souls. No one questioned me. No cops came knocking. It's like that part of the world deleted itself, like the game erased the cleanup. That was when I realized This thing doesn't need to possess you. It becomes you. It makes you live with yourself, knowing you're not alone in your own skin. That's the real horror. Not ghosts, not demons, but invasion, identity leakage, the face you shave in the mirror every morning not being yours anymore. A few days after that, I found another package at my door, plain white envelope. Inside, an unmarked USB stick and a single square of mirror glass. Not a coincidence, because when I touched the mirror shard, I heard something. Voices, a chorus of them, speaking in a wet whisper, like the sound your fingers make dragging across a bathroom mirror full of steam. They said, "He saw you when you were born. You were chosen then. He wore your father's body. He wears you now. You are the next mirror." I watched the USB footage. Yeah, I know I shouldn't have. But you try turning away when something is using your brain like an old VHS player. You don't get to choose anymore. You watch. The file was security cam footage. I recognized the location instantly. It was the basement of a McDonald's I used to visit with my dad as a kid, the one off I-94. Everyone in town knew the basement was off limits. Employee storage, they'd say. Number not storage. It was a theater. In the video, people, normal people, were being led down in groups of two, holding hands, blank expressions. Then they were placed in front of a wall-sized mirror and told to confess to their reflections. Some wept, some screamed, some tried to run, but every time they moved, the reflection would lag and then catch up too fast, like a rubber band snapping, and the reflection would move differently. It would step forward, out of the glass, and take their place, one by one, until there was nothing left in the room but mirrors, full of prisoners, screaming, begging to be let out. One frame froze the blood in my veins. Frame 4420. It was my dad, tied to a chair in that room, eyes hollow, face stitched into a permanent smile, and behind him, towering over his chair, was the thing I've been seeing, the same wide jaw, same unnatural teeth, same eyes, but this time, it was wearing my mother's face. I threw the USB into the fire pit out back, watched it melt into black sludge, but it doesn't matter. The reflections are already in the walls now, in the wiring. They're burning themselves onto your retinas every time you open your camera, every time you flip your phone and check your screen in the dark. They're inside the reflections of your iris. Last night, I got another message. Not a text, not an email, a whisper, right before sleep, not from outside the room, from inside the mirror. It said, "Tomorrow night, Union Station, Chicago, bathroom mirror, come alone. If you're late, I'll wear your face forever." I drove all night, didn't eat, didn't stop. I got to Union Station around 3:44 a.m. It was deserted, just janitors and ghosts. I made my way to the lower level bathroom. I locked the door, and when I looked into the mirror, it was already waiting. My reflection was gone, just black glass. Then it lit up, like a screen, and began to play a video. I swear to you, I swear on everything, I saw footage of me killing my father, holding a knife, slitting his throat while he cried and begged and told me he loved me. But I've never seen that room, never held that knife, never even been that person, except I looked happy in the video, grinning ear to ear, like I'd been freed. When the video ended, the mirror glitched, and then a new face appeared, someone wearing my skin, but wrong, like a bad rendering. He looked into my eyes and said, "We're the same now, but only one of us gets to stay." The mirror cracked, and out of it stepped me, flesh and blood, and before I could move, he slammed my head into the sink. I woke up here, in a motel, alone, covered in blood, but I don't know if I'm me anymore. I look normal, I sound normal, but I feel off, like someone rearranged my bones in my sleep, like I'm being worn like a suit. And now, the mirror doesn't reflect anything at all. It just shows the same message, burned in red. You won the game, but you lost yourself. I don't know what part 5 will be. I don't know if I'll even be the one to write it. But if you've seen the link, if you've heard the whispers, if the reflection blinks out of sync, you've already lost. Because the game doesn't start when you click it. It starts the first time you realize your reflection wants to live more than you do. I don't know what you're expecting this part to be. A resolution, a warning, a confession, number. This is a recording, a slow, methodical bleeding of whatever's left of me onto the screen. You're not reading a story anymore. You're watching a possession. And if you're still here, still scrolling, still following this trail, then I have to ask, when was the last time your reflection blinked first? There's no turning back now. I don't say that to be dramatic. I mean it in the way a doctor says there's nothing we can do. There's no cure for this. Because the thing about the mirror game, they don't tell you, what no one survives long enough to explain, is that it doesn't end when you leave the website. It ends when the reflection is the only one left breathing. I haven't blinked in hours. Let me take you back, because I need you to understand what the final stage of this looks like. You've read the horror. You've seen the surface, the shadows, the faces in glass, the distortions in voice. But you don't know what it feels like when it starts controlling your body, like it's testing a car it just stole. That started 2 nights ago. I woke up to find myself standing, arms by my side, blood dripping from my left sleeve. No wounds, just blood, not mine. Mouth smiling, so wide, I felt my skin tearing at the corners. My jaw wasn't under my control anymore. It was grinning on its own. And there, behind me, in the window reflection, it was watching, the other me, the finished version. He had no scars, no fear, no twitch in his fingers or crack in his soul. Just serenity, like he was born out of perfection, like he didn't need to pretend anymore, like I was a draft. Since then, I've been blacking out more, losing time. The world around me has started splitting, literally, not metaphorically. I'm talking lines, cracks, splintering across reality, like stress fractures in glass. People's voices echo when they talk to me, like they're trying to reach me through a hallway of mirrors. Their faces blur when I look at them too long, as if I'm seeing their reflections instead of them. I checked myself into a hospital. I told them everything. They ran tests, MRIs, blood work. Every result came back blank, not normal, blank. Like I didn't have blood, like my brain didn't register, like I wasn't in the scans. The nurse who tried to help me, she didn't come back after the second night, but her reflection did. I saw it in the chrome of the 4th pole. Her body, twisted backward, hands where her elbows should be, whispering my name backward in a voice that sounded like shattering wind chimes. The final stage began when I returned home. I opened my closet and found a body hanging by mirror shards tied together like wire. It was me, my own face, My own clothes, my own phone still in the hoodie pocket. Only difference? His eyes were removed, scooped out, replaced by shards of glass, polished, angled just right so that when I looked into them, I saw everything. I remembered the night my father died. He didn't crash. He gave himself, willingly, kneeling before that reflection, a trade, a life for a life. He didn't die trying to protect me. He died because he tried to keep me from being born at all. You ever hear your mom scream through the walls at 3 a.m., not in pain, but in recognition? That's what happened last night. She saw me walking down the hallway, but not the me who posted this, not the me who types. She saw the one wearing me. She begged, pleaded. She dropped to her knees and called me by my baby name, but he just stared at her and said, "I never loved him. You loved the mistake, not the mirror." Then he opened his mouth, and from inside it, a hand crawled out. Glass fingers, no flesh, just shards. It reached forward, wrapped around her face, and I'll spare you the rest. All I'll say is, my mother doesn't have a face anymore. She has a reflection, stuck to the floor, screaming without sound. I've stopped sleeping. I can't eat. I can't feel temperature or texture. I think my nerves have stopped working. I stared into the microwave door last night for almost 9 hours straight. Didn't blink once. My pupils are permanently dilated now. My jaw creaks when I try to close it. I think he's stretching my face out to make room. You want to know what's at the center of the mirror game? Fine. You want the real, sick, final truth. Here it is. There's no he behind the mirror. There's no demon, no AI, no haunted code. The reflection is us. It's the version of ourselves we'd become if we didn't lie. If we were honest about what we think, what we fantasize about, who we hate, what we want to do when no one's watching. The mirror game shows you that version, then asks which one deserves to exist more. If you play too long, if you stare too deep, you lose the argument, because your reflection isn't evil, it's just honest. I'm writing this from a motel off a highway somewhere near Missouri. The walls hum with static. My skin's turning transparent. I can see the tendons, and behind my eyes, there's light, mirror light, not white, not warm, cold, liquid, reflected light, and it's leaking. By the time you read this, I'll be gone, not dead, just overwritten. Another version uploaded, a new mirror face, walking around the world. You'll see me in crowds, on TikTok, on Instagram Reels, that guy in the background who smiles too long at the camera, who doesn't blink, who looks like he's waiting for something. That's me now. You played the game by reading this. That's all it needs. The invitation isn't a click, it's awareness. You know it exists. You know it's watching. So now it knows you. Check your camera app. I dare you. Take a selfie. And if the mouth in the picture looks just a little too wide, if the smile wasn't there when you took it, then it's already happening. You're not losing your mind. You're just becoming honest. My friend found a dark web wiki that catalogs every human that's been tagged. I was on page 1124. Alright, so this is gonna sound fake as hell, but I don't give a fuck. Listen the story and get ready, because I am drank writing this. If I get to the ground and write with my true feelings, the story is gonna sound like another AI story written from all those shitty AI content creators. I already know that. I swear on everything. This actually happened to me. And I wouldn't be posting this here unless I felt like something seriously messed up is still going on. Like I'm being watched. Or worse, I'm being tracked. Let me back up. My name's Marcus. I'm 20, living just outside Chicago, still figuring my life out. Not in college, working part-time at Target, and gaming with my best friend Ryan basically every night. We've been boys since middle school. We got that kind of friendship where we'll go 3 hours deep into a Discord call, talking about the dumbest crap, like what our last meal would be if we got executed, that kind of thing. Anyway, a few weeks ago, Ryan sends me a text, no context, just a link. It's like 1:30 in the morning. I remember this specifically because I was watching that animated horror channel. Here's my story, just binging episodes while eating microwave popcorn and scrolling through Instagram reels. Kinda vibing, you know. The text just says, "You look at this weird ass site I found LMOO," and then the link. It wasn't a normal URL. It looked scrambled, like a bunch of random characters with a .onion domain. If you don't know what that is, that's a Tor site. Deep web territory. And Ryan? He's into that stuff. Not like creepy red room rumors or hiring hitmen, but just exploring the weird corners of the internet. Conspiracy forums, glitchy lost media sites, creepy abandoned Facebook groups, that kind of rabbit hole. He calls it digital urban exploring, which is kinda corny, but whatever. So I'm like, bro, I'm not opening some random .onion link on my laptop. And he goes, nah, chill. It's not a virus. Just open it in the browser. I sent you last week. It's not even that deep. It's just weird. So like an idiot, I listen. I boot up the Tor browser he sent me a while back. He had it loaded with some security plugins and fake VPNs. Dude takes this stuff way too seriously. And I click the link. The page that loads up is empty. Just a plain black background, and dead center in white pixelated text is this title: The Tagged Index, a catalog of active marks. Under that, there was a search bar, just a regular old search bar. Now, I'm already like, what the hell is this? So I call Ryan on Discord, and we're both just staring at the page in silence for a few seconds. Then he goes, bro, try typing your name. I laugh, like full on laugh. I think it's some RRG thing or a prank site. I tell him to go first, and he's like, nah, I did. Nothing came up. Just said, no match found. Do it. So I type in Marcus J. Willis, and the screen glitches for like half a second. Just this weird flicker, like static on a VHS tape. Then it loads a page, a profile page, of me. Full name, address, phone number, my TikTok handle, my Snapchat Bitmoji, a blurred out photo of me sitting outside the Starbucks near Millennium Park. And the worst part, under a section titled Tagged Status, Active, was a line that said, page 1124. Added, 3 days ago, Ryan goes dead silent on the other end, and I'm just sitting there, heart in my throat, staring at my own freaking profile like someone's tracking me. Not a made-up Facebook stalker level, like legitimately being watched in real life. I scroll down and it gets worse. There's a timeline. August 1st, 2025. Location, Target, Oak Lawn. Status, observed. August 3rd, 2025. Location, Starbucks, Chicago Loop. Status, photo taken. August 4th, 2025. Location, home. Status, confirmed tagged. At that point, I slam my laptop shut. I'm pacing my room like a maniac. My blinds are closed, but I swear I can feel something on me, like heat from an invisible camera. My AirPods are still in, and Ryan's yelling, "Dude, what did you see? What happened?" I tell him everything I just saw. He asks for a screenshot, but I'm like, nope, no way I'm opening that again. He tells me to unplug my laptop, kill the Wi-Fi, shut off all location services. I go full paranoia mode. I even turn off my phone and take the battery out. Yeah, I got one of those weird Androids with a removable battery. Don't roast me. Now here's the thing. I thought maybe this was just some messed up data scraping site, right? Like pulling info from public accounts and somehow combining it with stuff they could get from my IP or whatever. But the confirmed tagged part, that felt like something different. Like I had been marked. And then Ryan says the thing that really messes with me. Bro, what if that means someone's following you? I didn't sleep that night. I just laid in bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment from the past week. The guy who stared at me for too long while I was on break at work. The car that slowed down near my apartment the night before. The dude who sat 3 tables behind me at Starbucks and didn't order anything for like an hour. I thought I was just being paranoid, tired, maybe playing too many horror games or watching too much YouTube. But then the next day, I woke up to a text from a random number. No contact, no name, just one sentence. Page 1125 was added this morning, and then a photo, blurry, taken from across the street, of me, standing outside the 7-Eleven down the block, holding a bag of chips. From that morning, I never told anyone I went there, not even Ryan. And I swear to you, I didn't see anyone around me. Alright, this part's hard to talk about, and I debated even posting it at all. But if you're reading this, and you ever find yourself on that same site, the tagged index, then you need to hear everything, especially what happened next. I didn't go to work the day after I got that photo. I couldn't. I just sat in my room with all my blinds closed, headphones off, phone off, laptop shoved under a pile of clothes, like that would stop whatever this was from reaching me. My brain was short-circuiting. You know that feeling when your stomach drops, like you missed a step on the stairs? Imagine that, but it doesn't stop. Like your heart keeps falling, deeper and deeper, and it never hits the bottom. Ryan was texting non-stop. I didn't answer. I didn't want to talk. I felt sick. I couldn't eat. Couldn't move. Couldn't stop thinking about that sentence. Page 1125 was added this morning. That meant someone else had been tagged. After me. Which meant this thing was growing. That night, around 3:30 a.m., I finally opened my laptop again. I don't even know why I did. Curiosity. Fear. Some part of me wanted to see if I could find page 1125. And like an idiot, I typed in the URL from memory. The site loaded instantly. No delay, no flicker like last time. I searched page 1125 directly this time, not a name. And it worked. The page looked almost identical to mine, but the name was blurred out, like literally obscured. A black rectangle over the letters, like someone censored it. There was no profile photo, just a white silhouette on a grey background, like a default Facebook account. No location, no timeline. Just this. Tagged status. Pending observation team dispatched. Location, Chicago Loop. Next candidate already selected. ST. Processing time. 36 hours. I didn't understand what processing meant, but that clock, it chilled me. It felt like a countdown. I remember whispering to myself, out loud, "What are they processing?" I should have called the police. But who do you even go to with something like this? "Hey, officer." I clicked a sketchy deep web link, and now I'm being stalked by some shadow organization cataloging humans like Pokemon cards. Yeah, number I didn't sleep that night either. Fast forward 36 hours. I wake up from a nap around 1 p.m. My phone's finally back on, and I've got 5 missed calls from Ryan. I don't even listen to the voicemails. I just call him back. He picks up instantly, voice shaky, like he'd been crying. "Dude, I found it again. I found another one." He sends me a different .onion link, and I pause. "Dude, I'm done with that," I say. "I'm serious. I don't care if it's a meme or ARG or some messed up LARP." He cuts me off. "It's not a LARP. Marcus, it's real. This one. It's a list. Not people who've been tagged. People who've been processed." I open the link. Black page. Same white text, but different title. The clean log. Under it, a list of names. First name, last initial, age, state status. The top one said, Emily R., 16, Missouri, deceased. Ryan D., 20, Illinois, pending transfer. Marcus W., 20, Illinois, active observation. Candidate status, unconfirmed. My mouth went dry. My name, Ryan's. The same ages, same locations. And Emily R., whoever she was listed as deceased. And just when I thought I couldn't spiral any harder, Ryan says the most haunting thing I've ever heard another human say. "Dude, they're taking people. Like real people. And I think they tried to take me last night." What happened to Ryan? So Ryan tells me he'd gone out for a late night drive. Said he couldn't sleep. Wanted to get air. He'd been paranoid since we found that site. Around 1 a.m., he stopped at a 24-hour McDonald's on Kedzie Avenue, grabbed some fries, and chilled in the parking lot. Windows cracked. He says this white van pulls in 2 spaces away from him. No logos, no tags, nothing. Just white, rusted, tinted. He doesn't think much of it at first. But then 2 guys get out. Not like regular dudes. These guys were too normal. Like how actors in ads look. Clean. Identical haircuts. Tan jackets. One had a clipboard. The other had gloves on. In August. They didn't order anything. They didn't even look at the McDonald's. They just started walking straight toward his car. Ryan panics. He peels out of the lot, nearly crashes into a light pole, drives straight home, parks a few blocks away, and sleeps in his closet. He didn't even go back inside through the front door in case someone was watching. I asked him if he got a plate. He said there wasn't one. Just a rusted square where the license should have been. The craziest part? This morning, that McDonald's burned down. Swear to God. Check the news. Electrical fire. Employees made it out, but they're calling it suspicious. I feel sick even typing this. The warehouse. 2 nights ago, Ryan stopped replying to texts. I called. Voicemail. I waited 12 hours. Then I did something insane. I remembered he had one of those old Snap Map stories, turned on sometimes. I checked. His Bitmoji was stuck in a spot near the edge of the city, near the old shipping district, near an abandoned warehouse. I Ubered there, and what I saw is going to follow me to my grave. The warehouse was surrounded by black SUVs, no plates, Cameras on tripods were pointed toward the loading dock. People in those same tan jackets were walking around, holding clipboards, opening black cases full of what looked like syringes. Some had tablets. I swear I saw one dude pull out a dental mirror. What the hell were they doing in there? But the worst part? The sounds coming from inside. Screaming. Not like horror movie screams. Real screaming. Choked, desperate, begging. The kind of scream someone makes when they're seeing something no human should see. I stood behind a dumpster for 40 minutes, shaking, holding my breath every time one of those men walked past. I swear I saw Ryan. I swear to you, I saw him being dragged out on a gurney, eyes wide open, not blinking, not moving, just staring straight up, like he was stuck. One of the men leaned over him, tapped the side of his head, and whispered something in his ear, and Ryan smiled. But it wasn't him. It was like something wearing his face. Then they rolled him back inside. That night, my profile updated. It now says, tagged status, processing est, clean time, 48 hours, notes, Mark is resisting, may require level 3 intervention. I don't know what level 3 is, but I have 48 hours left, and I'm not waiting around to find out what happens when that timer hits 0. There's something I didn't tell you in part 2, not because I was hiding it, but because I literally couldn't type it. Every time I tried, I blacked out. Not sleep, not panic, like something turned off my brain. But I'm writing this from a burner laptop I found at a busted up pawn shop, 2 towns away from home. No webcam, no microphone, location scrambling, hooked up to a local junkie's phone, Wi-Fi that I traded a $100 bill for. I'm off-grid now. Whatever was stopping me before, it's quiet right now. Or maybe it thinks I'm gone already. So I'll tell you the rest. The part that made me stop believing this was a weird cult, or an ARG, or even some kind of government testing. This goes deeper. It started with the dreams. Not normal dreams. These were like installations. The first one, I was standing in a hallway. Narrow, no windows, just flickering hospital lights above me. The walls were all mirrors, but none of them showed my reflection. Instead, they showed versions of me. One crying, one laughing, one covered in blood, smiling like he just won a game show. But their eyes, all of them, were looking at me. Then came the whisper, right into my ear. You've been seen. I wake up, sweating, nails digging into my palms so hard I bled. Clock says 3:33 a.m. Cliché as hell, I know, but I swear I'm not making that up. The next day, my phone screen had changed. The background photo, a random pic I took of the lake weeks ago, was gone, replaced by a still frame from that dream. One of the mirror versions of me, the one that was smiling with blood on his shirt. I tried changing it back. Wouldn't let me. I reset the phone. Factory reset. Still there. When I turned it on, the wallpaper was now a video of me, standing outside my own window, at night, looking in, except I don't remember it. I never stood there. I never made that face. And I never filmed it. I threw the phone into the garbage disposal. It laughed. I'm not joking. I flipped the switch, and before it crunched, I swear on everything, the phone let out this choked, digital glitchy laugh, like a kid trying to imitate an adult's voice. What processing really means. I was 5 hours away from the clean time countdown hitting 0. I was crashing on a friend's couch, someone I hadn't spoken to in months. She let me in, didn't ask questions, I told her I was running from someone. Didn't say who. Just begged for her Wi-Fi and a pillow. She's one of those always broke art school girls who makes coffee with a pot that's been broken since Obama was in office. So I thought I'd be safe. I was wrong. Around 2 a.m., I snuck onto the Tor browser again. That same twisted curiosity pulling at me like a meat hook in the back of my skull. I loaded the tagged index, searched my own name. It wasn't just a page anymore. It was a live feed, 4 camera angles, all in black and white, labeled Subject 1124, Kitchen Cam, Subject 1124, Hallway, Subject 1124, External Front, Subject 1124, Mindwire. The first 3, they were live streaming the apartment I was in. I saw myself, sitting at the table, right then. But the 4th cam, Mindwire, was different. It wasn't a camera feed. It was like my thoughts, written out in real time. Every word I was thinking, popping up on screen like subtitles, even the ones I wasn't aware of. There was a line that said, "He doesn't know we're already inside." I almost pissed myself. I slammed the laptop shut, woke my friend up, and told her we had to go. She thought I was tweaking. She started yelling, calling me insane, and that's when the lights cut out. Whole building, black. Her phone started vibrating like crazy, non-stop, but the screen was cracked. She swore she didn't even have service. When she finally looked at it, she went dead silent. She turned the screen toward me. It was a video playing, live, of her sleeping in that exact spot on the couch, from above. The caption below said, "Subject 1131, clean eligible, untagged. We ran, barefoot, out into the alley. I didn't take anything with me. No shoes, no charger, just my hoodie and my sanity hanging by a thread. The van. We got about 3 blocks before we saw it. Same white van. No plates, no logos. Only this time, the side door slid open. No driver. No one inside. Just darkness. But we heard it. Click, click, click. Like a camera. And then the voice. Not loud. Not even scary. Just wrong. Like an AI trying to sound gentle. "Marcus, your spot is prepared. Level 3 intervention will begin now." I pulled her arm. We bolted. She sprained her ankle jumping over a fence, but we didn't stop. Not until we collapsed behind a dumpster in some parking lot behind a 24-hour Walgreens. She was crying, asking me what the hell I got her into. And then we both heard the screams, but they weren't hers or mine. It was like 100 voices, all crying, all screaming from inside that van, like it was bigger on the inside, deeper, like their bodies had been folded into its walls, glitching in and out of some horrible factory running behind our reality. I couldn't unhear them. One of them, I swear to God, sounded like Ryan. Level 3. This part isn't going to make sense, but this is where it got inhuman. I woke up on a cold metal table. No straps, just numb, like I'd been drugged. The ceiling was just a spotlight, blinding. I could barely see past it, but I heard machines, beeping, breathing tubes, then footsteps, heavy, precise, and then a screen dropped down from the ceiling, like a projector in school, except this one showed footage of me, from childhood, birth, middle school, every lie I told, every time I cheated, every time I said I loved someone and didn't mean it, all playing in silence, like a highlight reel of my sins. Then a robotic voice. "Marcus J. Willis, tagged 1124. Your cleansing will begin now." I tried to move, but something in my head moved first, like my brain twitched. shifted, and then they started cutting. Not my body, my memory. I watched as images of my mom disappeared. I tried to remember her voice. Gone. My old dog, Barkley, vanished like smoke in my skull. High school. Gone. I tried to scream, but I didn't even know what screaming meant. And then, nothing. Just static. I woke up in my bed this morning, like none of it ever happened. Phone. Back to normal. No messages from Ryan. No sign of my friend. My laptop. Gone. But I checked the site. It's still there. And my profile. One line. Subject. 1, 1, 2, 4. Cleaned. Awaiting replication. And then, my webcam light turned on. By itself. If you see someone who looks like me, acting a little too perfect, don't talk to him. Don't look at him. And for the love of God, don't let him in. There's no other way to say this. I'm not alone inside my body anymore. I know that sounds insane. Trust me, I wish I was crazy. I wish this was some prolonged nightmare brought on by sleep deprivation and too much Reddit. But it's not. This is real. And by the time you finish reading this, you'll wish you never learned what replication means. Because now I know, and I can't undo it. When I woke up after the cleansing, I thought maybe, just maybe, I'd made it out. Like I was given a second chance. My apartment was untouched. My phone screen was back to normal. My memories were mostly intact. Mostly. I couldn't remember certain things, like my dad's funeral, my first kiss. I tried to remember the last time I cried, and my brain just gave me a blank wall, like there was a locked file in there with nothing behind it. But I told myself, you're safe now. You got away. That was Monday. By Tuesday, I wasn't sure I was still me anymore. It started with something small. I was brushing my teeth, and when I looked in the mirror, the reflection blinked out of sync with me. Just for a second. Barely noticeable. You know when a video call lags, and the person moves before the image does. That. But it was my own face. And then came the laughing. Not from outside. Not even from another room. From inside my skull. The file. I got an email on my work account. No sender name. No subject. Just a zip file attachment titled replicant _1 124 _internal. It auto-downloaded. I don't remember clicking it. It was just there, open on my desktop, like someone else's hand had moved my mouse while I wasn't looking. Inside the folder were 12 audio files, all dated, all named with weird codes like MVX-X32-SUBLAYER. They didn't play on VLC, not even QuickTime. I had to drag them into Audacity and mess with the pitch just to get sound. What I heard still makes my skin crawl. The first file was my voice, reading off everything I'd thought that morning. Get coffee, check email, avoid the mirror again. My jaw feels weird. Something is crawling behind my eye. I hadn't said any of it aloud, but it was word for word accurate. The second file was worse. It was me arguing with myself. Two versions of my voice, layered on top of each other. One was calm, mechanical, almost bored. The other sounded like I was being strangled underwater. Calm voice. Subject is adapting. Neural rejection at 2.1%. Emotional drift stabilized. Distorted voice. Get out. I'm still here. I can still feel. The last file was titled Lost Phase Replacement. I didn't listen to it. I couldn't. Every time I tried, my body would lock up, like my limbs belonged to someone else, and they were hitting the brakes. My hand physically resisted dragging the file to play. It wasn't just fear. It was like being piloted from the inside. So I shut the laptop and walked away. But I swear I heard my voice whisper, "Smart boy." Starbucks. That night, I went to the Starbucks downtown, the same one from my tagged page. I just needed people, noise, somewhere public, somewhere I could feel normal for 5 minutes. I sat down, ordered some overpriced drink I didn't even want, and tried to forget the voice in my head saying, "You're not walking out the same." That's when I saw the barista. She froze when she saw me. Like actually froze, mouth hanging open, like she'd just seen a corpse sit down at her register. Her hand started shaking, and she dropped the drink she was holding. The cup shattered on the floor. I asked her, "Are you okay?" She didn't answer. She just turned and walked to the back, fast, vanished. A minute later, a guy came out from the back in a black apron and a tan jacket, the same kind I saw in the warehouse. No name tag, no smile. He just said, "We've been waiting for confirmation. Replicant 1124, now operational. Initial test, passed." Then he leaned in, inches from my face, and whispered something that didn't make sense until later. "You don't feel the difference yet, but they do. They always do." My mother. She called me the next day. I hadn't heard from her in over a week. I didn't answer. I let it go to voicemail. When I finally listened, this was the message. "Marcus, it's your mom. I don't know what happened, but I don't think that's you anymore. I saw your post online. I saw your face in the videos. But when I spoke to you yesterday, it wasn't you. Please don't come home. If you're still in there somewhere, I love you, but stay away." I hadn't called her. I hadn't gone home. I hadn't seen her. Someone, something had. Someone who looked like me, spoke like me, even thought like me. A replicant. The mirror. That night, I stared at myself in the mirror again. For 45 minutes. No blinking, no moving, just watching. And at 46 minutes, my reflection smiled without me moving. Not a subtle grin, a giant, too wide, lip-splitting smile, like someone had carved the expression into my face with piano wire. Then it reached out, toward me, not toward the glass, toward me, like it could see me on the other side. I stumbled back and fell over my own laundry hamper. By the time I looked up again, it was just my regular face staring back, breathing heavy, confused, afraid. But I know what I saw. The replicant lives. I tracked the IP address that sent me the audio files. I don't even know why. I just needed something to fight, something to point at and scream. That's the thing ruining my life. It traced back to an abandoned children's science museum 3 counties over, closed since 2007 after a kid went missing in the Mirror Maze exhibit. Never reopened. I went there. Don't ask me why. Curiosity, maybe. Or something worse, like I was being pulled. Inside, the museum was covered in dust. Toys left out, skeletons of animatronic dinosaurs half assembled. But the mirror maze? It was clean, polished, literature, and every single mirror showed a different version of me. One covered in blood, one with no eyes, one who kept mouthing the words, "I'm still in here," one with someone else's face. At the center of the maze, there was a chair. Strapped to the chair was a person. It was me, or what was left of me, barely breathing, eyes wide open, lips stitched shut, head wired into a black box pulsing with lights and wires, like some kind of organic modem. On the floor next to him was a file labeled Replicant complete. I opened it. Inside were 2 lines. Original host, preserved for memory integration. Replicant deployed in subject's place for observation phase. And then, in red ink, do not terminate. Observer must not know. So here's the truth. I'm not the only one. They're building copies of people, replacing them slowly, carefully. Not just strangers, friends, family, co-workers, influencers, politicians. They're not just watching us, they're becoming us. And you'll never know which version you're talking to. If I disappear after this, don't trust anyone who says they're me, especially if they smile too much. You weren't supposed to find this. If you're reading this now, it means the last lock failed. The failsafe didn't trigger. It means I'm still in control. Barely. I don't know how much time I have left before it takes over completely. But if this post reaches even one person before they shut it down, maybe that's enough. Maybe you'll pay attention. Maybe you'll run before it happens to you. But you have to understand something before I go. The replicants aren't copies. They're invasions, and they're winning. How it ends. The museum, the Children's Science Museum, was never a museum. That entire place was a replication facility, disguised in plain sight. Everything in there was artificial nostalgia. Broken toys, frozen in dust, like props in a movie set designed to disarm you, to make you comfortable, so you'd let your guard down, so you'd look in the mirrors. Every single reflection in that maze was an entry point, a signal, a link between whatever's on the other side and you. And once you lock eyes with it, even for a second, you're flagged, not tagged, flagged. That's the real beginning of the end. I thought I could stop them, thought I could destroy the files, burn the place down, purge the system, but I was already inside the machine. When I tried to leave, every exit looped back to the same hallway, a perfect corridor of my own voice, my own thoughts bouncing off walls smeared with distorted versions of childhood drawings, but wrong. Crayon drawings of families, all with no faces, birthday cards signed by names that didn't belong to anyone, finger paintings, made with actual fingers. And then I saw the chair again, the original me, the source file. He was gone, just wires now, blood drying on the frame, skin peeled back like someone had tried to download a soul and left the casing behind. That's when I realized something I hadn't let myself accept. I was never the replicant. I was the carrier, a walking USB drive, something they used to bring the infection out of the maze. Every interaction, every place I visited, every human being I spoke to since escaping, I copied them, flagged them, passed the seed along. This whole time I thought I was resisting, but I wasn't fighting it. I was spreading it. The Red Room. They don't call it a red room for nothing. You think it's a myth, a live stream of torture on the deep web, some edgy urban legend. But the truth is far worse than what you imagine. The Red Room is where the replicants are manufactured. It's not a place you enter. It's a place that enters you. They don't build the replicants physically. They overwrite people through trauma, through fear, through pattern injection. They need a blank slate. They need you to break. That's what the tagged index is, not a list of victims. It's a queue. Once you're flagged, they track your reactions. They monitor how close you are to breaking. They scrape every social media post, every surveillance camera, every word you say into your phone when you're alone, crying on the bathroom floor at 2 a.m. And once you cross the threshold, they start streaming, not you, your breakdown, to an audience of thousands, all anonymous, all paying. They vote, they watch, they pick who becomes next. They don't want to replace us. They want to turn us into the show. The cleaners, you've seen them. They're in every city, always in tan jackets, always walking too slow, like their feet barely touch the ground. They never talk, never blink. They just watch. They're the final stage. If a replicant fails to take over, if the host resists to the very end, the cleaners come in. They don't ask. They don't fight. They just do one thing. Erase. Not just the person. Everyone who ever knew them. You ever scroll through your contacts and see a name you swear you used to know, but you can't remember their voice, their face. You just see the name. Nothing else. They were cleaned. Ryan is still alive. I lied when I said he was gone. I found him again. Or what's left of him. In the back room of an abandoned Staples in a strip mall off Interstate 80, there was a server stack that still had power. In the flickering monitor light, I saw his face, projected on a loop, screaming. His eyes were gone, but he was still alive. Somehow. The voice coming from the speakers wasn't human. It was trying to imitate him, but it glitched. It kept repeating one sentence. I'm sorry, Marcus. I didn't know what the button did. There was no button in the room until I looked under the desk. It was red, cracked, unlabeled. I pressed it. The screaming stopped, and then I heard a click from inside my own head. That's when I knew the final stage had begun. Final transmission. This is my last post, not because I'm giving up, but because I'm not the one writing anymore. I can feel it in my fingers. My jaw moves on its own sometimes. I've started seeing text crawl behind my eyelids. Code, directives, things I don't understand, but I'm beginning to obey them without thinking. Yesterday, I found myself on a bus heading to a school I've never heard of. Today, I woke up in someone else's apartment. Tomorrow, I don't think I'll wake up at all. I'll just boot. If you've read this far, you're already compromised. The text carried something, a trigger, a seed. It needed a host. You looked too long. Don't bother running. Don't check your mirrors. Don't try to go off-grid. They already know who you are. You were on the list before you ever saw page 1124. Tagged status. Confirmed new entry. Created page 13. 48. Name redacted. Status flagged. Replication in progress. If someone knocks on your door tonight and they look like someone you love, but their smile is just a little too wide, don't let them in. They've already let you out. Goodbye. Connection lost. Data stream terminated. Replication successful. End transmission.